that I think has made me happier. With my short time today, I just want to share with you the one story that is probably mostly responsible for that redefinition. I went to a school in a little school called Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick. And on my last day there, a girl came up to me and she said, "I remember the first time that I met you." And then she told me a story that happened 4 years earlier. She said, "On my day before I started university, I was in a hotel room with my mom and my dad. And I was so scared and so convinced that I couldn't do this, that I wasn't ready for university, that I just burst into tears. And my mom and my dad were amazing. They were like, 'Look, we know you're scared, but let's just go tomorrow. Let's go to the first day. And if at any point you feel as if you can't do this, that's fine. Just tell us and we'll take you home. We love you no matter what.'" And she says, so I went the next day and I was standing in line getting ready for registration. And I looked around and I just knew I couldn't do it. I knew I wasn't ready. I knew I had to quit. And she says, I made that decision. And as soon as I made it, there was this incredible feeling of peace that came over me. And I turned to my mom and my dad to tell them that we needed to go home. And just at that moment, you came out of the student union building wearing the stupidest hat I've ever seen in my life. It was awesome. And you had a big sign promoting Shine Around, which is Students Fighting Cystic Fibrosis, a charity I've worked with for years. And you had a bucket full of lollipops. And you were walking along and you were handing the lollipops out to people in line and talking about Shine Around. And all of a sudden, you got to me and you just stopped and you stared. It was creepy. This girl right here knows exactly what I'm talking about. And then you looked at the guy next to me and you smiled and you reached in your bucket, you pulled out a lollipop and you held it out to him. And you said, "You need to give a lollipop to the beautiful woman standing next to you." And she said, "I have never seen anyone get more embarrassed faster in my life." He turned beet red. He wouldn't even look at me. He just kind of held the lollipop out like this. And I felt so bad for this dude that I took the lollipop. And as soon as I did, you got this incredibly severe look on your face and you looked at my mom and my dad and you said, "Look at that. Look at that. First day away from home, and already she's taking candy from a stranger." And she said everybody lost it. 20 feet in every direction, everyone started to howl. And I know this is cheesy, and I don't know why I'm telling you this. But in that moment when everyone was laughing, I knew that I shouldn't quit. I knew that I was where I was supposed to be, and I knew that I was home. And I haven't spoken to you once in the 4 years since that day, but I heard that you were leaving. And I had to come up and tell you that you've been an incredibly important person in my life, and I'm going to miss you. Good luck. And she walks away, and I'm flat. And she gets about 6 feet away, she turns around and smiles and goes, "You should probably know this too. I'm still dating that guy 4 years later." A year and a half after I moved to Toronto, I got an invitation to their wedding. Here's the kicker, I don't remember that. I have no recollection of that moment, and I've searched my memory banks because that is funny, and I should remember doing it, and I don't remember it. And that was such an eye-opening, transformative moment for me to think that maybe the biggest impact I'd ever had on anyone's life, a moment that had a woman walk up to a stranger 4 years later and say, "You've been an incredibly important person in my life," was a moment that I didn't even remember. How many of you guys have a lollipop moment, a moment where someone said something or did something that you feel fundamentally made your life better? All right. How many of you have told that person they did it? See, why not? We celebrate birthdays where all you have to do is not die for 365 days. And yet we let people who have made our lives better walk around without knowing it. And every single one of you has been a catalyst for Lollipop Moment. You have made someone's life better by something that you said or that you did. And if you think you haven't, think about all the hands that didn't go back up when I asked that question. You're just one of the people who hasn't been told. But it is so scary to think of ourselves as that powerful. It can be frightening to think that we can matter that much to other people. Because as long as we make leadership something bigger than us, as long as we keep leadership something beyond us, as long as we make it about changing the world, we give ourselves an excuse not to expect it every day from ourselves and from each other. Marianne Williamson said, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that frightens us. And my call to action today is that we need to get over that. We need to get over our fear of how extraordinarily powerful we can be in each other's lives. We need to get over it so we can move beyond it. And our little brothers and our little sisters, and one day our kids, or our kids right now, can want to start to value the impact we can have on each other's lives more than money and power and titles and influence. We need to redefine leadership as being about lollipop moments. How many of them we create, how many of them we acknowledge, how many of them we pay forward, and how many of them we say thank you for. Because we made leadership about changing the world, and there is no world. There's only 6 billion understandings of it. And if you change one person's understanding of it, one person's understanding of what they're capable of, one person's understanding of how much people care about them, one person's understanding of how powerful and agent for change they can be in this world, you change the whole thing. And if we can understand leadership like that, I think if we can redefine leadership like that, I think we can change everything. And it's a simple idea, but I don't think it's a small one. And I want to thank you all so much for letting me share it with you today. Have a great day at TED. I'll see you later.
Y'all know that one. Y'all love that one. All right, what do you guys think of that? Real quick, just quick thoughts. Anybody?
It looks like a pilgrim.
You looked at a what?
Pilgrim. Big belt buckle, patch.
That's what they took away from. All right, Pilgrim. Anything else? Pilgrim.
I liked how he said there is no world, there's 6 billion understandings of it. Like if we can change one person, we can change theirs.
Absolutely. Anything else? All right, cool, we're gonna move on. All right, so the first thing I want, while we're just sitting here, I want you guys to reflect on the moment that you either first joined KESM, became a counselor, or attended a meeting. Just kind of reflect on your first moments here. And I kind of want to hear what made you guys join in the first place. Yeah. Let's hear it. I want to hear why you guys joined campus.
Hi everyone. Okay, so I know Big Mac was like volunteer when I first came to KESM. So like one thing that he did, I think like with everyone that came in the room, like he would continually like seek them out. Like every meeting we would come back and he would like always be there asking like how your day was, things like that. So I think like he's been like a big reason I'm still like here, or at least, you know. So that's cute. That's nice.
Big tenure, really. Anybody else? Hey guys, why are you here? No? It's not a hard question. You need a hard question. Okay. Oh, yes. Nick.
Because I love kids, and I hate kids.
I saw Burrito tattoo.
It's a 100 tattoo.
Yeah, on his forearm.
Giggles messaged me on Snapchat Messenger. You're really yeah, it's true. And I was just like, I'm
just
just
sending
know
out
what it's about.
messages to all the guys in your contacts, okay?
Yeah. It was really cool when I first walked in to the day before meeting at Boys and Girls Club. I walked out, Nick and I was like, hi, I'm the guy who emailed you a lot. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. So, guys,
Just like hearing Xavier and talk about like all the like impacts they've made on kids and like just everything they've done in camps.
Over the summer, my mom got sick, and Tank called me the day I found out. I'm sorry, but he was talking about. I didn't mean to cry. I wasn't going to. And he was just talking about the great experience he had at camp and how strong the kids. I really am not crying. And like when I got off the phone and like chilled out and didn't do this anymore, I was like, wow, I should do that too. That sounds great.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear what made you guys join, but what made you stay in KESM after you came to that first meeting? No.
The magic.
The magic. What about them?
It's just the feeling you get when you can genuinely feel that a kid has made progress. He's come out of his shell a little bit, and so that makes you feel like you did a little something. It's gratifying.
I think it's the feeling getting reciprocated. Like you come to camp and you're like, I'm gonna like give so much love to these kids, but they give so much, like not only the kids, but all the counselors too, like give that right back to you.
And one of the big things for me was the first empowerment that was just like the counselors only, and that bonding, and then that getting reaffirmed at my first actual empowerment ceremony. That just kind of cemented that this is where I was supposed to be.
I love hearing these things. I love hearing why you guys are here. KESM, it sounds like a lot of our experiences come from either we've heard about it from somebody else impacted our lives in a way and made us want to join. KESM is more than just a first impression as well. Everyone in the room likely would not be here if not for a previous member that made them feel included or welcome here from day one, like similar to what Gumball was saying. So just remember that when we bring in new counselors or as we train new counselors, even new campers, just be reminded that everyone is here for a reason and everyone has kind of a personal connection to what we're doing. And I think some of the best leadership can be if we can kind of connect our personal connections to it. So I'm going to move on here to our next section. So I want to do a discussion about friend groups versus cliques. So I want to get a working definition between what we think the difference is between the two. Right on the It's very dirty. Okay, so can you guys read this? Cute! There you go. There you go. Black mark on the black whiteboard. Yeah. Alright, so while they look similar, they are different. So
We clarify spelling because we're all.
Oh, I think she's very late. I apologize. Autocorrect. It's not my fault. It's a Clicks, like with the Q. So, alright. Working give me something, just tell me about the correct click with the correct spell. Give me exclusive.
You can't sit with
There's 4, but a lot of them might not work.
Matching belt buckles.
Is that what you guys did in Nashville?
So are you guys in play?
Spreading rumors, secrets.
Yes.
Toxic.
Good word.
Nice word.
I
Thank
felt
you.
like
That's
we
the
need
only
to
good
stop.
thing I'm going to get to training this entire time, so I got
That
it.
was wrong.
Anything else? We've got exclusive, matching attire, spreads rumors, toxic,
Drama.
drama. Backstab. This sounds okay. It's not a personal experience.
I don't know how you like word this, but it doesn't build you up. Really, like you don't really what? Yeah, it tears you down. It doesn't like you're not really gaining. You're not becoming a better person out of it, kind of thing.
If it's clicks or not. Sit with clicks.
All right. I think that's enough to click. What about friend group?
Tessa.
Tessa. You mean family group?
Uplifting. Supportive.
Inconsistent. Uplifting.
Supportive.
Supportive.
You don't.
So like in opposition would be shallow and like sorry,
Welcoming.
welcoming.
Not drama filled.
Not toxic.
Inclusive. Alright, well,
There it is.
we did it. We put words on a board. Alright. So, what do you guys, I guess, what is the importance behind avoiding a clique in a camp situation? Counselors get close with other counselors, and you tend to be friends with other counselors, that's fine. But why do we want to avoid cliques here at camp? Big man.
We're looking through that DEI lens.
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to be exclusive.
Exclusive. We be inclusive to everyone. Right. Anything else?
I had something.
With kids like not being at home, they might get like kind of lonely or feel excluded already. So the sooner we can throw them into something that they can be themselves,
Right. We never want a kid to feel isolated.
I think custom is so much about family, and I think cliques kind of give that us versus that mentality. Whereas friend groups are like, maybe you're not necessarily part of that one group, you're part of the family still.
Are we gonna do examples or can I get one?
Huh?
Are we gonna do examples or can I kind of like give one? So like at camp last year, I noticed like, especially like with the Yellow Lions, like they would go and intermingle with like the younger kids. Like I think that's a good example of like a friend group as a whole for all of us.
It's part of our job as counselors to like be the pathway for kids to enter conversation. So like within our own cabins and within other cabins, if we kind of let them kind of form their own little circles, it makes it harder for us to be able to break through and allow another kid to be able to join that conversation.
Yeah.
And with that, we model behavior for them. So if they see us only talking to the same counselors all week, they're going to do the same thing and only talk to their like 2 or 3 people or whatever. So if they see us going and talking to other cabins and stuff like that, they'll do it too.
Yeah, and I feel like this might be, like, cliques is something they might experience at school a lot because, like, this is what's so special about our campus. Like, it's a place where they should feel welcomed. So if they're experiencing, like, being excluded out of cliques at school and that same thing is happening at camp, like, what would make camp special for them?
Absolutely. Okay, so kind of give me, I know we already kind of made a working definition, but what do you guys think the difference between at camp a friend group and a clique is?
Between campers or counselors?
I would say between campers. To start with.
That's with the fact that we're like incredibly blessed with kids where like I genuinely don't think I've seen much cliquish behavior, so it's gonna be kind of hard. But I think the only thing I can think of is maybe like our teen girls, maybe that has nothing to do with like us and everything we expect their teenage girls.
Yeah.
But like last night, I don't think I was solid.
We're really blessed. Our kids are really great. Okay, what about in counselors then? What's the difference between a friend group and a clique and our counselor environment?
I mean, I would just keep in mind that, like, we keep using the word family to describe this group of counselors, and that's absolutely what we are. We are a family. We're all here for a reason. We're all chosen to be here. We have the same core values. We're all here for the same purpose. So even though you might not be talking to, like, I don't know, you're allowed to have friends, but, like, you're also here for the same reasons. So it's like you're all going to get along with everybody. If you talk to one person more than another, like, that's okay. Yeah.
It's kind of one example of that. It's like at your apartment, you, Big Mac, and Rotini like hang out all the time.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're excluding anyone else. Like everyone wants to come hang out. So it's kind of like you guys are. Yeah.
It's also really easy within camp to like become super close with the other counselors in your cabin because you become like you have those shared experiences of like terrible like fart jokes.
Yeah.
But then like but when like the entire group comes together, like it can be really easy to kind of like unintentionally segregate yourself from the rest of camp, like within your own little family. When already we're like a whole history.
It's incredibly natural. You know, don't feel bad if you only are. I mean, you're going to be friends and love everyone in this room by the end of camp. But don't feel bad if you're really tight with a few people and talk to them. That's okay. As long as we're just conscious of the fact that we're looking. I guess as long as we're using that DEI lens and being conscious of how this may look as an example to campers and how this may make other counselors feel. Like I said, we're all going to end up really close, so there's really no issues with that. But initially, it's just kind of good to make sure that nobody is feeling isolated. So campers and counselors alike. So, good job.
We got one more.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you explain the DEI lens?
Yeah. Okay. So the DEI lens is DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So it stands. Diversity is obviously diversity. Equity is treating everybody equal. Yeah, thank you. And then we appreciate you. And then inclusivity is just being able to have it open enough to where people feel, regardless of their abilities, that they are able to come in and do whatever. So, diversity, equal opportunity, and inclusiveness. You good? Yeah, good. Okay, right on. Okay, so now I want to just kind of know the counselors a little bit, and we all know each other, but I want to just do a little quick introduction here. So I'm going to take us to our wonderful slides that we made. We can see our beautiful faces here.
Like, oh, you definitely woke me up last time.
You told me I didn't wake you up.
I know. I was so startled. I didn't know what was going on.
We'll just hit this real quick because we got great photos in here for sure.
Why are you starting on me?
We're doing the same thing with that in the photos.
My bad.
Tell me your information. Read to me exactly what's on the board. Stand up. Just explain what's on the board.
So yeah, one of my favorite memories is always the empowerment ceremonies and the connection that you form with the campers, the counselors, and just everyone there. And like the feeling afterwards where everyone's just so connected and loving, like everyone just feels so comfortable with everyone in the camp. And I just love that whole night. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing all the returners, seeing all my Yellow Lion boys, and then meeting some of the new ones. And yeah, I'm a senior criminal justice.
So obviously this is my first year of camp, but I'm excited to meet the campers. Yeah, freshmen. And then I'm excited to have tons of fun. Currently, I did just switch my major, so I'm not pre-med and psychology anymore. I am radiation therapy. So I'm looking forward to doing that as well. Different
The last nice pictures I took. Notre
Is that
Dame.
on the quad?
No, it's at Notre Dame. Yeah. I'm really excited to meet the new campers and shower with them with love and fun. And I am a special and elementary education major.
Here we go!
I'm excited I'm looking forward to meeting all new campers and instantly making fun memories, and I'm a junior health and physical education.
I'm excited to meet all the campers. This is my first year in today. Safe, and make new memories, and I'm a freshman.
Looking forward to meeting all of our incredible campers and having the meet this summer. And I'm currently a junior, majoring in business administration and a minor in economics as well.
Okay, she's excited to get to know the campers, make fun, long-lasting memories that will impact her life as well as theirs. She's so happy to be part of our Chesson family. She's a sophomore and she's double majoring in child life and childhood development with minor ethics. Strawberry! I'm looking forward to meeting the campers, similar backgrounds to hers, being inspiration, as well as the friendships and memories she's made. She's a sophomore in urban planning. And she's currently studying abroad.
I'm looking forward to becoming a family with the campers and counselors, and I'm a sophomore biology.
It's your turn. Oh yeah, I'm Padidi. Hey. My favorite memory of camp was playing cards with everybody. It was really awesome, just because they. Good, you brought that. And then what am I looking forward to? I just want to see everyone again. I'm a 5th year. And I'm studying. Let's go.
Okay, I'm Gumball. I don't remember all the top, so I'm just going to read it. Most looking forward to meeting all the new campers, spending a week in like the environment that is the best. And I'm a sophomore communications major and concentrations in
What's up? This is
Horrible.
my name's Waffle. That was me on the first day of camp last year. My favorite area is staying in the yurt with my boys, my orange monkeys. I'm excited for just camp in general. And I'm a sophomore political science major.
That's a heck of a mustache. That looks natural.
Well, it started off as just like a thin little line, and then it escalated into handlebars. No, it's like makeup.
Right.
It's like paint.
one of the blue elephants, and they also glitter bombed me.
Of course, all of camp.
Bill's
Oh,
not here.
wow.
Power shower hours. And,
What's Ike?
that's a Green Croc thing. And can't wait to be back with these little dudes. He's a junior nursing major. He is sick as a dog right now. So, send up. Ha! Send it up. Okay.
I love Van Man. From the moment he ran to camp, we had like a really cool moment, and I saw him with his 3 teeth. I know, like, and then listening to Kangaroo for the first time.
So Sparky wasn't at any of the training to start, so he thought that song was made up on the spot.
You know, right first we just came up
The
with
way
it.
he's like holding himself and like looking around kind of anxiously, like he's like, Taco. I think it made me start crying. We worked with all the kids, and it says I'm a junior nursing major, but I'm like first semester. I'm really old, and I didn't know I'll grab it.
Vince, not here.
Also didn't fill
She
it
doesn't
out.
remember camp. She's not.
Wait, that's why is
That's
she's
not
not.
That's just the great. I love that.
Oh, I can't wait. Are they coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. So the pool is great. That slide will end you up. Don't let it trick you. Like it will spit you out.
Yep.
Skipping stones, cool. Singing Lean on Me with my guitar and all kids was super awesome. Hope we can do that again this year. All the things about camp. Senior, but I might like maybe try to fail a class so I can stay. I'm not entirely sure yet. And then the team like that has social work, yeah, that's me. Yep. Here I am.
Can't wait to see us. We're here.
We're here right now. Yeah.
My favorite memory from camp was playing cats and caves with the pink flamingos.
That was tragic. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember what it was called.
I'm excited to see all the campers, and especially my good time to see them again. And I'm a freshman psychology major and criminal justice and criminology.
Oh,
Okay.
So my favorite memory from camp was starting the toast trend with the purple hippos. Actually, we had to make up a camp song and bring it to training, and I decided to turn that song into a camp song. So it was really fun. Looking forward to meeting new campers, seeing my purple hippos. I'm a senior, about to graduate, child development and family studies with minor in autism. And I'm going to grad school for special ed.
So, alright, so.
Oh.
I'm Tank, aka Tank, okay?
Please.
What? No, it doesn't. Alright, I'm looking forward to some of my monkeys again. My favorite memory from camp was when Frida would go, orange monkeys.
Ooh, ooh, Yeah, see, I got you. I remember.
Yes, thank you. You didn't know that. I am a junior here at Information Systems and criminal justice major.
sit down.
Any questions?
Why did you put up the
Thank you.
sunglasses? Where are you doing?
Welcome to my
Oh!
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Hello.
Nice pick.
That's me. I love that picture. I don't know. I was excited. My favorite memory from camp was definitely Messy Olympics. The absolute best day ever, even though I smelled like chocolate syrup and was sticky for like 2 hours afterwards. Ugh. Yes, and jumping into the lake afterwards was just awesome because we were all like disgusting and like hated everything, and then we just jumped in like it was great. Looking forward to seeing all of our wonderful campers again and being able to like make connections with all of you. Yeah. I don't know why I went into so much detail, but yeah, I am studying elementary education and special education. I'm a senior. I'll be graduating on May the 4th. Be with you.
At 12:30.
Not at 12:30. The ceremony is at 11, and then there's one at 3:30. But we can go. That's it.
I'm me. I'm along the right. This picture gets used. That picture gets used a lot. So.
And yes, that is me.
Yeah, that's Mole at Big Mac right there. So my favorite memories from camp hopefully being bugged and never not playing dodgeball when we have free time. That's always fun. I'm really looking forward to meeting all the new kids and getting to see my monkeys again. And then I'm a junior. I study public relations.
My favorite memory is playing paveball with the Pink Flamingos. Most looking forward to meeting new campers, seeing returning campers, junior nursing major.
No.
Oh, I love that photo. My favorite memory from camp is bedtime dance parties with the Pink Flamingos. When we like turn off all the lights and use glow sticks and have like the most amazing dance parties all the time. Great flashlights. And flashlights, yeah. I'm most looking forward to seeing my returning flamingos and all the new girlies we're going to have on our camp this year. I'm currently a junior orcom major with a minor in business.
Okay, goals. My favorite memory from camp is the party after empowerment.
I'm so sorry, baby.
That's my brother.
Me bugging in the background. Sorry, baby.
What am I looking forward to at camp is getting to see all my little elephants. I'm the only one that's going to be back in that group.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. And a lot of them are moving up too. Like they're older and most of them
They grow up on you,
And then my her sister, she'll still be there. But yeah, so that makes me a little sad, but excited to know some of the people you guys know. I'm a senior child life and child development major.
My favorite was water boards last year, and then getting to see everybody I'm excited for, and then junior nursing.
My favorite memory from camp is playing the card game Speed of our Pippas. I'm looking forward to everything, and I'm a senior social worker. Is that my arrow?
She's actually a camper.
She actually.
She's actually a camper.
She's one of our photographers. She got to balance on a kayak and take photos of us last year, which was actually really cool. We fell in once. Looking forward to capturing all the new moments, making more memories, meeting new campers, and then she's a senior studying photojournalism. And then let's do these people. Handsome man.
Green crop, power shower appearance, disappearance. We had 11 campers, we only had 4 of them, something like that, I don't remember. Being friends with 65 amazing kiddos, it's going to be a great time, and I'm a junior geography student.
My favorite memory was definitely miss the Olympics because I felt awfully sick that morning, and I was just like about to lay in alumni all day, but the girls were insistent, like, no, we have to make you a counselor Sundays. That was the best thing. Yeah, sitting in chocolate syrup, I love it. And then I'm really excited to like be able to hang out with different cabins and really get to know more campers this year instead of like having 1 or 2 campers the whole time. So I'm a sophomore special ed major.
Thank you. That's it. Remy, just real quick. She's not filling anything out, but Remy is our mental health professional. She rocks. She's very close with us counselors as well as us kids. Very involved. She loves hanging out with the kids. So be sure to look for Remy, see her friend. She can help you with any sort of child who has an issue, but also if you need something to talk about. Remy's really, really good for counseling as well. So, Minnie is Minnie back?
We're waiting by.
Yeah,
She's here.
Okay. Big Night Sister.
Yeah, she's lit. She can't wait to meet you guys.
She's gorgeous.
She's so excited.
She's the works.
We going with a McDouble here? Like, what we rocking with?
Little Mac, Band-Aid,
Small fry, that's
Big Mac and Little Mac, or Big Mac and French fries. I like French fries.
We'll figure it
You
out.
did have a fry.
Well, she's very excited to meet you guys, and I can't wait for her to
And I
meet you.
do believe that's the program director. Was
Yeah,
Kitty.
we still want
Was Kitty. Okay.
What's Mufasa? But
Was Mufasa, then Kitty, then
Somebody else.
everybody.
How's it
that. They
play?
haven't been hired yet. Well, we haven't.
Alright, awesome. So the last little thing is going to be just a little discussion about inclusivity. So I'm just going to write up on the board, and I really need you guys to reflect and think because it is important, especially within those first couple of days of camp. It's really important that we are being inclusive and welcoming to all people. So I'm going to have you guys, I'm going to call on you guys, just call out whatever you think would be a good strategy. So, how can we be inclusive and welcoming to new campers?
Well, you said like the first few days as a president, but like really tomorrow's like our first opportunity meeting them. So like especially like the parents and the new people going and finding out their names and calling them by name and making sure you're introducing them to other people and not just staying with your cabin or your returners.
Yeah, learn names and introduce. Awesome. Routine.
On the first day of camp, when everyone's rushing off to their cabins, make a point to introduce yourself to people that you know, maybe aren't in your age group, or maybe you're a guy, and introduce yourself to girl campers and their families as well. So get to know people, everyone.
Mm-hmm. So introduce yourself.
We do a lot of repeat after me songs, but not all of them are. So kind of just breaking down and teaching the other songs.
Yeah.
So that way, new campers aren't excluded from it.
I would say teaching songs, and then also teaching lingo, the things that we say.
Yeah.
So teaching songs and lingo.
Oh yeah.
Last year as a first year counselor, I had a lot of really dumb questions that I did not know anything. And thankfully some of the returners were really, really good about fielding those dumb questions.
Okay.
So just being open to taking any question and realizing that that you probably had it when you started.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone was new at this at one point, so everyone didn't know what was going on at some point. Some of us still don't. So. Speakers.
Give the newer concepts leadership roles from the very beginning. Make them, at least that's how it was with me. Chicken Nugget really helped me out. So have them lead the lines in transition, and have them lead certain activities. That's going to give them a chance to feel more included, and the campers to get to know them.
You can't make whatever. Just give them the rules.
I think being transparent is really important because, Daisy brought up this point from our PowerPoint when Pipsqueak put that her favorite part was not being in New York for camp this year, even though it might happen anyways. Didn't you say Dee said she had no idea the cabins were even split up like that, or I don't know, one of the families who's most involved with us, the Connors, didn't even know about things like that, and so just being transparent with parents in that too.
There are some suggestions here. So we did really well with just listing out these things already. So one of them is just, this one says here, to get to know counselors. Learn the names of everybody. Learn everybody's real name. We kind of went through everybody's major and everything, so just try to remember some of the smaller details about each other. Practice active listening with counselors. You can probably throw that into open answering questions, just in that kind of mindset of being receptive and listening and trying your best to help each other out. We are on the same team here, so get to know each other. Staff members, like we said, we could do we could do a new member mentorship and assign buddies. That's a good one. Another one is just be generally encouraging to each other. Offer constructive feedback as well. Just because we're being critical of each other doesn't mean we're not necessarily calling out the person, we're calling out the behavior. And so we need to make sure that if we are giving constructive criticism that we do it fairly and politely, but also that we're receptive to listening to that as well. Mingle with each other, you guys did a good job with that. Ask for feedback, of course, that's kind of neat to do that. But yeah, there are just other things that we can do to try to make sure that we are doing well with including campers and counselors. And a lot of the things we can do for counselors are similar things we can do for campers as well. So to wrap it up here, I want you guys to get in, how many people do we got? 22. 22? you guys get in groups of 4 and then just have 5 and 2, please? I mean, it could literally just be like. Sean?
Yeah, we got
Okay.
you can
Sean? Oh, I mean, can you that, or you can just stay like in your
I don't
seats
know.
like that, and we can.
We have 4, so we can't. You're part of us.
I don't believe in
And this is very low, like I don't know.
We're like, if we're like,
This is a discussion I was like,
just like,
okay. So I need you guys to spend a couple of minutes picking 3 ideas that you think would create an ultimately welcoming environment to new campers and counselors alike. So think of 3 things that you can do, and then how we can implement that into, say, like the first day of camp, or just camp in general. So take a couple of minutes, think of, like I said, 3 strategies to make camp more inclusive, and we'll share at the end of the time. So go ahead.
Something that
And then you will just be stuck with the buggers, and you're not going to know what to do.
Forewarning.
Let me know.
Absolutely.
It's like getting dropped off in my hand, literally. I was strategies to like that scare kind of like being like so excited to see you, like what's your name? Like what's making your name kind of like just very like engaging and excited, like modeling that excited behavior to make them feel a little less nervous and excited.
Yeah, even with me, it's like great too. Like it worked with her, and she's like probably one of our most
Yeah.
You have a lot of I do. Not anybody.
Like, be okay with failure. Like, I just feel
Yeah, we've got an hour every day. Around the campsite.
Those are the ones
I do. Those are my favorite ones.
But like, every single time they'd be like, "Sing on this one," I'd be like,
Yeah, I think it's
I'll
important.
try it. I'll try that.
A lot of times, like, the new ones just kind of have like no idea what's going on. Yeah. So like, really ready to hear them out from like their side and just kind of like redirect or whatever. And sometimes like, well, that's not what we do here. Just come. Right? Just do this that like ABA. Then you guys all speak fast, so that makes me happy.
I think just making sure to wherever it is, like someone has no idea what you're talking about.
There's one
It's
down.
like the return is coming. Yes.
And I know like some of it you're gonna have to tell like, hey, I'm gonna need you right away.
Some of them are short.
Like, maybe you guys will have like a
We've got you guys scheduled nice. And we're going to do a lot of the bulk of everything tonight.
But it's just important to like make sure you're editing.
So probably we have reservations for 5:30.
And then the return
We'll populate those.
oh, and cool. I know what I'm doing.
I know, like last year I was a counselor for 6th grade baseball, and my girls, right when they got there, like they weren't really sure about going out and playing like high school with all the like, boys out there. And they're like, I don't know. So like I was like, no, like watch, I'm gonna do 6th grade. And so like as soon as I figured, then they wanted to like make me figure it out.
I get there, I'll get great.
They just get it on the table.
Yeah, like that, like bring it up. They were going like they were like
thinking about their reaction the whole time.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. They talk about it.
yeah, well,
We're talking about child
If I had to
listen, I'm a couple.
I don't do anything. Like, I literally do.
Yeah, so
You're only so busy and you really give like 100%. You could have put 60. Like, you do that. And it's been like, you like, oh yeah. That's amazing. So,
Put those boots away.
Yeah.
Those are the 60. That's how you succeed in life. Like,
No!
never increase to 70. But you don't want to dip below 5.
I know the secrets.
You're not close to, like, what you want to be at.
We have the same.
Like, after you go down a hill.
Alright, I got you. So let's stop. How about everything share a little bit?
Cheryl.
Alright, this person's right here. Give me just one of your strategies.
A warm, welcoming smile.
Warm, welcoming smile.
We said that, like, you don't have to worry about, like, greeting one person and sending them away. Like, someone else will greet the next person. Take the time to make someone feel comfortable and welcome. Like, if you're the first face they see, don't push them away immediately.
So like a welcoming. Yes, welcoming smile. That's right. Alright, next group.
We said like walking when you're getting adjusted to where they're sleeping and stuff. Asking questions on them.
And asking them questions is awesome. Whatever we can do to help them feel more comfortable within what we can do. Next group.
We said a lot of good things, but
Not that you don't
yeah, not to flex, but like we had great. What we said was like a name game. So like doing something like even before like for Gaga for example, before starting like going around saying everyone's name in the Gaga pit, or like passing the ball and saying your name as you catch it, like simple stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yes, sir.
We just talked about modeling behavior kind of all across the board, like being positive inside of your cabin. If you are going and playing the games, then the campers will want to go play them too because like, oh, it's cool, my counselors are doing it. Making sure on the first day that you are being welcoming and like excited to see the campers, like they're nervous, they're getting dropped off for a week away from home, making them feel welcome in that kind of way.
Alright, and is that the last group or do we have one more?
One more.
One more, alright guys.
We highlighted a few different things. Not hesitating when you're going up to a camper that's for the first time. It's hard because you've never met them. You might be kind of nervous, but just opening your mouth and talking, good things will happen. Adapting activities. I want to give a shout out to Panini. He's here this weekend and we interviewed him like 3 days ago.
Wait, are you using the example?
Yes.
It's coming up in my training.
But can I get some answer before we can just explain?
Yeah, and then just making sure you're giving the same love and attention to everybody.
Alright guys, great job. That is going to be the end of the first round. So we're going to move into our 2-minute break. We're going to move to our 2-minute break.
'Why was on your slide? I was thinking the squid, and I was just like, man, she's really getting rid of in the shower. Like, that's not
And then you said shower with them.
Shower
with them. You were like shower with them.
No, that's not it. I was like, oh, I was like really worried. Like, I wasn't sure what the violence was.
I gotta get to like that point and then.
Water work on a whiteboard? Huh? You can water work on a whiteboard?
I did this like last.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Why is it cold? Okay.
Love how.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, no. Come on, no.
Yeah, they have like no
I think I'm gonna avoid looking first.
which is like good. Yeah, I was like,
I should stop that video.
Especially that I